everybody, this is Freeman Sullivan here at 24th Street Guard Station in the Mission District. We're getting ready to live stream a commemoration of the 1968 Tlatelolco massacre of the students in Mexico City when they rose up against the corrupt and autocratic government to actually protest for their rights. And the body count was at least 300 students that were murdered by the state. That was the estimate, but generally it's believed to be much higher, the casualty rate. But we have the brave students who were murdered by the state. Anyway, it's a lovely evening outside. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be live streaming another evening here. So we'll do our best to stick around as long as possible. We're about ready to start here. So a small crowd, mostly people that are interested that are passing by.
La noche de Tlatelolco.
How you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
Well, trying to stay busy. I had a great trip. Going to live. Got to hang out.
¿El periódico dice algo de la matanza que está sucediendo en Tlatelolco? No, permito, no dice nada, ni lo va a decir. ¿A poco sé que en el periódico van a decir eso?
I got to hang out with Clyde. I don't know if you know who he is. Clyde? He does Global Revolution. Oh, check it out. They're doing a project. We're trying to get. We have a collaborative website for media that we're building. It's up right now and running, but it lacks functionality. But we're trying to get on the 24-hour news cycle. If we notice that we're either live streaming or 3 days late on the news. So we're trying to speed that up a little bit so we can get our stories out before MSN. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been picked up quite a few times. And I found that a lot of times when I come to something and I tweet it out, that I usually get people to come out to watch the media. This one out there. I actually came out here to meet somebody who I'm going to take down to Mexico with me for solstice. I want to go up and hang out with some Zapatistas for a while. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's good to get away from our little bubble.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Nancy? Let's talk out to our audience out there. Is there anything else? This is Nancy Mancias. That's the thing.
Hello.
We're looking lovely
I'm
today.
here on the corner of Mission and 24th. I'm at the Bay Area commemoration of massacre that took place in 1968 in Mexico City. I remember hearing about it first when I was in Mexico. There was a student demonstration, and the government, well, there were a couple of things happening. There was the Olympics were supposed to take place in Mexico City. So I guess one of the ways the government wanted to get rid of these student demonstrations was to literally open fire on them. There's a little bit more political things that are happening as well. During that time, PRI, the political party that just quote-unquote won the election or stole the election of Mexico were in power. So I believe in December 1st they will be, the new president will be taking his seat in Mexico on December 1st. So there's a real connection between what happened in 1968 and what under that party and what people are talking about how the president for PRI is horrible. And you can hear some of the things that have happened under his governorship. I mean, he sounds like, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this transition. And even though there were demonstrations to stop the election fraud in Mexico, and even here in the U.S. and across the world, they're still going to go, they're still going to take power. So, anyway, Viva 99%.
Thanks. Yeah, I was watching some of the live streams of Mexico City today.
There's some images over here if you want to, on the other side of the massacre that happened, if you want to come
pictures over there, yeah. Horrific deaths of these young students. You get a chance to live.
Me gustan los estudiantes que van de aquel hombre un carrito que llegó hasta el purgatorio, parando el zambal y por los muros de estudiantes que con cultura de elocuencia a la última negra sacarle una joya, porque está cuando no jura el Señor en la mente, la cosa que viva con la piel. ¿Tú me conoces? 44 años de la Japón comenzó California, Juárez, Alemania. Muchachos y muchachas, estudiantes que van detrás de la manifestación con la misma alegría con que hacen siempre sus días y todos los días. Jóvenes despreocupados que no saben de qué después en una serie de 25 del pelo blanco, los grandes, niños niños que todo lo maravillan. Hasta que uno de la barranca del pelo blanco les dijo que se formaran así, de uno al otro, como la fila de pollitos plateados que avanzan en el suelo. Y pasan a la altura de los ojos, y se vuelven para atrás, rozando la cortina de satín rojo. La noche de Tlatelolco.
We're waiting for it to get dark here because we're going to have a little video. It's going to be projected. There's some right now, they're working on it.
Oiga, el periódico...
I've been involved with social movements for a long time now. I've been an organizer for at least 41 years, and the day that this is commemorating October 2nd is one of the saddest, most tragic days, one of the saddest, most tragic days in world history. Even as great as the Tiananmen Square massacre, hundreds and hundreds of students were murdered. It's truly a dark day in American history.
Que ahora viven en tu mirada, sosténlos con tus ojos, con tus palabras, sosténlos con tu vida, que no se pierdan, que no se caigan, escucha, escucha, otra voz canta. Cuando empezaron a desaparecer, hace 3, 5, 7 ceremonias, a desaparecer como sin sangre, como sin rostro y sin motivo, vieron por la ventana de su ausencia lo que quedaba atrás. Este andamiaje de brazos y de mundo. No son solo memoria, son vida abierta, continua y ancha, son carga compleja. Cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan, dicen que no están muertos, escucha, mientras se alza la voz que los recuerda y canta, cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan. Cuando empezaron a desaparecer, como la básica en los arquetipos, a desaparecer con las palabras, en una de nuestras manos los trocitos de cosas que se dicen, están en algún sitio, nube de tumba, están en algún sitio, estoy seguro, allá en el sur del alma, es posible que haya extraviado la búsqueda, y hoy vagan preguntando, ¿dónde estará queda el buen amor? Porque viene de nuevo. No son solo memoria, son vida violenta, son camino que nos piensa y que nos ama. Cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan, dicen que no están muertos. Escucha, mientras se alza la voz, los recuerdos cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan. No son solo memoria, son vida violenta, son camino que piensa y que nos ama. Cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan, cantan conmigo, conmigo cantan, cantan conmigo, conmigo
I'm still trying to get this chat thing working. I don't know how to get access to it on my phone with BAM users. Pretty quiet here, as befits a commemoration. There'll be some speakers coming up here in a few minutes. So I just figured out how to get my my chat going on here. Hey, how you doing, Eric? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm usually, when I do the live stream, I try to, that's pretty much the only thing I'm capable of. I might have some water though, which I forgot to bring. Usually I bring a bottle of water with me, I forgot. It took me a while to get my motor running. You know, so I didn't sleep at all on my whole trip. Like very roads. Yeah, well, I keep up with your movements, you know. Like you go to a lot of places with most stuff. I had an opportunity to go to Spain, but I couldn't find my passport. I was like, so I went today and dealt with that, get a new passport, because I have a lot of opportunities now that weren't possible before when I was laid up. So especially in travel. The world. There was like there's like 20 countries in the weekend, and I was like going off. Even Saudi Arabia, which is one of the most oppressive countries on earth, you know. Oh my God, I can't even drive.
Yeah, I can't even drive.
It's crazy, you know. Okay. You know, we're starting to get a little darker here. We can see our projection. Panels are having a little more of an effect. Yeah, we'll be live streaming from different areas on the globe this year. I hope to do a lot more traveling, and I like to network and interact with people around the world. And we are, the struggles of the people in Mexico are united with the struggles of the people here in the United States. 99% of the world is still 99%. And a lot of things that happen here in the United States directly affect people in Mexico. A lot of our policies, especially our failed drug war policies, have been responsible for the murders of over 30,000 people in the last 5 years. There's definitely a murder epidemic in Mexico right now associated with the drug war, and with all the profits and money that can be obtained, who can blame somebody who's poor and really has no future economically but to get involved in the drug trade. So that's directly as a result of what happens here in the United States. So we're getting ready to have some speakers here. No, I thought we were. We're almost set to go. The Mission District here is sort of the Latin quarter of San Francisco. It's been heavily Latino since at least the 1940s. Lots of families live here. Unfortunately, the Mission has been a target for gentrification now for the past 20 years or better, trying to move out the traditional Mexican family and whatever else happens to be moving here. We're in the probably #1 real estate market here in the United States, where during the past year, even despite the housing...
Mark, have you met everybody here?
Not yet.
Okay, I want to make sure you meet everybody. Okay, you need to meet.
That's for a nicer night.
I know.
Perfect.
Jose, do you know Clark?
Yeah.
You need to know Clark. Clark is an activist from how many years? 40 years.
41 years.
A political activist. He attended our event at Univision, and we've been communicating on Facebook, and I invited him to come tonight. So. Nice to meet you, man. Thanks for coming, man. We're sitting right now to Chicago. You want to do something in Chicago? They have like multiple events all over there.
Yeah, hello to people in Chicago. It's Solidarity here from San Francisco, and from another live streamer to another live streamer. Good job. Always good to be out here. We need more live streamers in the world to break the media blackout, because most of you would know there was massive demonstrations around the world, from the Ukraine to Poland to France and Spain and Portugal and Greece and Indonesia, India, Pakistan. This is to commemorate the 1968 massacre of students in Mexico City, where thousands of students were murdered by the government.
Hola, buenas tardes, gracias por venir. Gracias a todos por haber venido a esta visita para conmemorar 44 años de la masacre de Tlatelolco. Solo queremos informar que aquí a mi mano derecha tenemos café, tenemos limonada, tenemos pan las imágenes que están viendo ahorita en el proyector son imágenes de 1968, del mes de julio, antes de la matanza, cuando el movimiento estaba... Era similar al movimiento 132, también luchaban también por la igualdad, por sus derechos, básicamente, ¿no? Entonces, ahorita estamos en julio, va a seguir agosto, septiembre y vamos a llegar a octubre 2, que es donde sucedió la masacre, ¿no? La masacre de Tlatelolco. Ahora lo voy a traducir un poco para que los amigos que están por acá en inglés también sepan de qué es el evento. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thanks everyone for coming. This is an event to commemorate the massacre of Tlatelolco in 1968 in Mexico City by the free regime of Díaz Ordaz, that was the president back then. The images that you're seeing, that you're observing, are from 1968, from the month of July. So this was a documentary that you could see on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half, but it starts in July, basically when the movement started, when the student movement was starting, and it's going to go July, August, September, and then it's going to end with the massacre on October 2nd, 1968. So we have more information. I'm going to take out some flyers. We have more information about the massacre and also about the 100 years of the movement, Bay Area. So if you want some information, you can come to me and I'll give you some flyers, some stickers. The purpose of this event is to be informed of what's happening in Mexico City right now. And it's really important since the person that wants to be the president of Mexico, it's basically linked to America, to all these massacres occurring in Mexico. And we don't want that. We want change in Mexico now. We want change in the world now. So that's why we are doing these kinds of events. So please, if you see us on Sundays here, please come and visit us. Please get some flyers. Please inform everyone that the democracy in Mexico is a fraud. We need your support. We need the whole world to know that democracy in Mexico is a fraud. Okay? So I'm going to play some music now. We have some requests for song, Las Casas de Cartón, which represent, the movement, the civil war in El Salvador. So I'm going to play some songs, relevant to all these events, because we need change in the world now. And thank you. So please help yourselves, coffee, lemonade, and bread. Thanks.
Por mi vida que no conoció, que me pidió por mi vida que no conoció. El pueblo que no
And if you'd like more information about Yo Soy Uno Tres Dos, hit the hashtag on Twitter, and you'll be able to find out quite a bit of information about the movement, which is started with the elections, the 6th elections in Mexico, which what election hasn't been fixed in advance here in the United States as well. So if you're an American, don't get the idea that our electoral system is any better than the one in Mexico. It's just as corrupt, if not more so. At least in Mexico, most people know it, that it's corrupt. Here in the United States, a lot of people go to the polls thinking that they're actually free to choose who they want to run for president, but the reality is that we're living in a two-party dictatorship where you get a choice between dummy and dumber. So don't think that voting is going to set anybody free, at least not in the way, in the form it's currently constituted. No, habla inglés, no.
What does it do? What does that mean?
It's about the elections that were held recently in Mexico. So student movement sprang up. And this event here is to commemorate the thousands of students that were murdered in 1968 in Mexico City. That's why we're here. Not too bad. Glad to be here. This is a documentary about it in July. It actually happened. This is the 44th anniversary today. I was a child then, and I barely remembered it. 1968 was particularly turbulent here. It was like a watershed point in world history.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. And a lot of social movements sprang up, but most were ultimately repressed. There was the revolt in Hungary and Czechoslovakia, which were brutally suppressed by the Soviets. Which there was Mexico, and there was the United States with the Chicago Democratic Convention, assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy was assassinated right here, and the riots that were precipitated by the murder of Robert Lee. I remember those quite well. And I think that we're starting to reach that point right now in world history. 2012 has definitely been a year that activism has seen a resurgence. And that's around the globe. As I was mentioning earlier, there were protests around the world this past weekend, some numbering in the hundreds of thousands. So definitely a time for change. A time to change the current corrupt economic system that favors the mega rich at the expense of us, the poor, the 99%. We're asking you to participate. Just so at home and watch the live stream. While it's very important, you could do more. Come out and participate. Become part of the struggle. Don't be a spectator. Your presence is needed everywhere. Everywhere you might live, you can come out and press for change. It should be pretty obvious that it's much needed in society. That's why I'm out here live streaming. It definitely is an instrument to change. So I'm going to swing by one more time and we'll end the stream in a bit. I have to do a little bit of socializing and networking, which is I'm not really able to do when I'm streaming. They finally got all the candles lit. Wind died down a little bit. Take a moment of silence here to commemorate all the students who gave up their lives in the struggle for freedom.
We're really only interested in began to talk about the bigger issues.
I'm going to take a personal moment of silence.
There was a massive protest in the public Roosevelt, which is the second largest public square in the world, only Square, the largest. And
today they had
the government's response to this
some bringing the tens of thousands of Mexico City.
And so
in remembrance of today.
I was assured that foreigners were out to destroy Mexico.
Those soldiers struck a particularly strong chord in the Mexican public, especially in the student movement.
This is predominantly what we would call xenophobia. In the sense that foreigners can't be trusted, foreigners are xenophobia means they're foreigners. And especially what Mexicans don't want foreigners criticizing their country. The government of Mexico, which has been since 1929, has been a one-party state. They call themselves the Institutional Revolutionary Party. The Institutional Revolutionary Government of the States, but they didn't stop them from using that term. They were mutually contradictory. And so what they were for is they were for keeping themselves in power and keeping everybody else out. If there had been student protest groups before, the government would simply incorporate them into the political parties. The Indian peoples were protesting, they would create committees for Indian peoples and bring them into the party. If there were workers that were striking, they would create a workers' committee and bring them into the party. So their job was to include everybody. And the one thing that they hadn't really figured out is how to include the students. Because when they brought people in, they either blocked them off, or they would make them disappear one way or another. And students couldn't be bought off.
So thank you for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow, live streaming from the Chevron refinery over in Richmond, California. It's going to be a big demonstration against Chevron's poisoning of the environment here, not only in the Bay Area, but also in Ecuador, which today Chevron asked for to take away Ecuador's nation status as a trading partner in retaliation for them pursuing a judgment of $40 billion for Chevron's destroying hundreds of thousands of acres of Ecuadorian wild wilderness. So we'll be starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. So do look for me then, and everybody have a good night.